This is Game of Thrones: A Tale of Crows. I got it on my iPad because I actually am a long-standing Game of Thrones fan. I read the first book back when it was only a couple of years old, and when the TV show came out, I was really excited because I was already completely up to date on the series, and I am one of those folks who ended up pretty disappointed by the ending of the series, and then also pretty disappointed that we don't appear to be getting any additional books. But you know, at the outset, just the idea of what this world was and what this story was blew my mind. I loved it. It's a different kind of storytelling from what you get in a lot of other from a lot of other fantasy and science fiction. So I'm a huge fan of it deep down in my soul. Even though on the surface, the bloom was off the rose a little bit on the franchise. So I saw this game, and it's Game of Thrones. It looks pretty, and I honestly I don't even know what genre it is. It's just some Game of Thrones game. So I'm gonna dive in. We're gonna find out together what this thing is. I'm playing it on my iPad, as you can see from the the battery. No, wait. How do I point in directions? It's over here. The battery sign up there. It's 100% because I'm charging. One of the things that would drive me crazy is if you had to watch the battery slowly tick down over the course of the stream. So we got 100% battery. We're ready to go. Let's tap on the screen and find out what happens. A stranger calls. Winter has come, friend, and the night promises a storm. Have a drink at my table, if you'd sit with a crow. I assume it means a member of the Night's Watch. The North offers little for travelers these days, unless you want for stories. Stories of dragons and dead men, and brotherhood old as time. Since the Dawn Age, the Brothers of the Night's Watch have protected the realm, but history forgets them. They fought for us, bled for us, and earned the scars in the wars that came. Those were my sworn brothers, and it's time their stories were heard. Tell me your tales. Wait, what? Wait, I have to hold this down. Did I succeed? Here we go. Thousands of years ago, the White Walkers came, bringing a night that lasted a generation. So, is this going to be in the deep history of Game of Thrones? But the first men and the children of the forest joined together and took back the dawn. To prevent the long night's return, they raised the wall and founded the Night's Watch to defend it. After the Great War, the first men returned to their lands, so it was left to the First Lord Commander to lead our new brotherhood through the dawn. His legend begins at the gates of Castle Black. Yeah, this is deep in Game of Thrones history, it looks like. That's silly, studio? Okay. Alright, so this is what I saw that made me excited about this game. It's not just the fact that it's a Game of Thrones game. It's a Game of Thrones game that looks like this. So a steward approaches. The gates won't open for us, Lord Commander. We call out, yet our brothers do not answer. What is your command? So I can find the strongest among you and break through this gate. A climber's game. Send a man who knows our castles. Look for let's look for a hidden way in. Oh wait, so I need to hold it until it's accepted. Okay, they probably do that because it's really easy to accidentally tap something, and if these choices are going to make a big difference, then oh wait, I wasn't reading, so I don't even know what happened. It looks like that didn't work, right? Or did it? Let's see here. Gilbert has opened a gate. He says there's not a soul in the castle. Okay, so yeah, if these choices are going to matter, they want to make sure that I didn't just accidentally swipe them with my thumb, so good move there. Okay, so there's not a soul in the castle. Form groups and search every hall. Show me to the commander's quarters. Okay, so yeah, let's be a commander. Let's delegate this. Send them out to search. So, notable names. Hendry Slint, Gilbert Tess, and Lyman Galar. Okay. Oh, hey, I'm not sure what that was about. Is that just... Well, we'll find out. Stewart reports. Gilbert led the search. We have scoured every corner of Castle Black. No one is here. Is there no trace of them? So there's... Oh, here we go. Got a report. So is this going to be kind of like what am I trying to say? Like, yes, Your Grace, or Reigns, where just I'm a leader making a bunch of choices, and then my choices will play out in different ways, and stuff will happen. I don't know. We found only a mass of heavy tracks leading north of the wall, and a rookery full of hungry ravens. 1,000 men were sent to guard Castle Black, and now it stands empty. Well, let's mount a ranging to the north. We must know where they have gone. Okay, so follow the 1,000 brothers? Is that a thing I can tap? What do I... Okay, so I can move the map around. Oh, wait, there's an icon that's pulsing at the bottom here. Expeditions. Okay, so let's click this. Okay, so we're going to set the purpose of the expedition. Okay, so we tap that. Follow the 1,000 brothers. The 1,000 sworn brothers of Castle Black have left their post. We know not why. Okay, so I'm going to set this as the purpose of our expedition. Who will lead? So Hendry Slint is a berserker. Gilbert Tess is learned. And Lyman Galara is impulsive. Let's go with the berserker. Let's name this leader. Give the command. Progress continues when the game is closed. When a new raven comes, it waits for you so that you miss nothing. Would you like to be informed of a raven's arrival? Yes, notify me. So now, okay, this is something that we learned a lot when I was working in the mobile industry. If you just pop up the sort of the system dialogue that asks you for something, players will usually say don't, or they'll often say don't allow, and they can even hamstring your game. And oftentimes, the platform won't let you just spam them, like asking them again and again the same question. There can be limitations, or it can just be really weird. And so sometimes you only get one shot at letting the player turn something on. And so what you usually do is you ask them the question inside the game first, and if they say yes, then you let the system dialogue pop up to ask them the question again, and they've already committed to say yes, and so they're probably going to say yes again. It'll be rare for them to follow a yes with a no. But if they say no inside the game, then you don't bother popping up the system notification. Okay, so it looks like we're going on this expedition, and Is this going to take a super long time? Henry Slint. Okay, here we go. It looks like a raven has come. I was about to say, if this is going to have a lot of long waits, this might be a short stream, or at least a short video, because I'm not going to sit here and make you wait for really long-term actions to take place. The trail that began at Castle Black leads us deep into the frozen forest. The men hesitate. The trees ahead, not street. Similar letters. The trees ahead bear corpses hanging from their branches. Should we cut them down? Steal yourselves? Yeah, let's cut them down as we go. And he's a berserker, and that's what allows you to do that. So interesting. So depending on who you send, they might have different options when choices become available. All right. Okay, so you can see... Oh, interesting. Okay, so that white slash across the middle of the map is the wall. And you can see the road. We took the King's Road up here. And then you can see that little expedition moving very slowly towards its destination. So I imagine that right now they deliberately chose a destination fairly close. So I could just sit here, play the game, and watch, and not worry about it. But I assume that long term, they're going to start introducing more distant travel and stuff like that, and this is going to be the kind of game that I could just play as a little minor distraction, open it up, make a couple decisions, and then put my phone back in my pocket. So I had the decision when I grabbed this game whether to install it on my iPad or my phone, and I chose iPad because I usually put things on my iPad, games on my iPad just by default. It's usually more comfortable, it's a bigger screen, that sort of thing. But interesting. And then a raven is coming back. I love how they're mapping this out. But anyway, yeah, so I chose my iPad by default. And, but it might have been the wrong choice. Maybe long term I'll actually want to play this on my phone. Okay, let's see this raven. So, the ranging party tightens rations. Okay. Silently, Hendry cuts down each corpse in the trees. The tracks we follow seem fresh. We suspect we'll reach the missing brothers soon. Okay, so either I'm mad or I'm glad the corpses aren't our men. You know, I'm going to be a nice leader. I'm glad those corpses aren't our men. Okay, so we're sending back the Raven. So that is one thing that I really appreciated about the whole Song of Ice and Fire series, was the fact that information took time. You know, you could really feel the difference between the world we live in and the world of these stories, because something you would read that, about something happening at the wall, for instance, but then people in other parts of the story wouldn't know that had happened yet. It would take a lot of time for the messages to travel. Now, they did, George R. R. Martin did come up with ravens as sort of a faster mode of communication than what you'd normally assume would be available, in medieval times. It seems like the ravens in this world are smarter than like carrier pigeons and stuff like that are in the real world, and they were more capable of carrying messages swiftly and reliably. And so it's sort of, it gave him something he could work with, where if he needs information to travel fast, he can travel relatively fast. But a lot of time he would really lean into the fact that it just takes time. That's one thing I really appreciate about, say, The Expanse. It realistically models how long it takes information to travel from one place to another through the vastness of space, and it's a really important part of reality, and so it lends a lot of verisimilitude to the stories. Jedi Cytrix asks, was this a free-to-play game? I don't remember. Here's my problem. I'll grab games when they get my attention, but sometimes I won't work up to actually playing them for weeks later, and sometimes I completely forget where it came from. Oh wait, no, I remember. When we started this game, it said Apple Arcade. That's why I have it. It's because I've got the Apple Arcade subscription. It's kind of like Game Pass for iOS, and so I think this is part of Apple Arcade. So that's why I have it. So I didn't pay any additional cost for it, but I do have it because I pay for my Apple Arcade subscription. I'm not sure where else it's available besides Apple Arcade. There are some games that are available on Apple Arcade and also are available other ways, but there's some games that are exclusive to Apple Arcade, and I'm not sure if this one's exclusive or not. Okay, so the Rangers have returned. We found the missing brothers, warning against a massive host led by the White Walkers. The dead are winning. We don't have long. Either we must help our brothers, or we must keep the enemy at bay. That's the same. Oh, have everyone gather in the main hall, or... No, it's the same. So the question is just whether or not I'm emphasizing that we're helping our brothers, or if I'm emphasizing that we're fighting the enemy. Well, let's emphasize helping our brothers. So it seems like there shouldn't be a lot of travel involved in going to the main hall, so am I just sort of waiting for that event to complete? Interesting. So one thing that mobile games try to do a lot, especially free-to-play mobile games, is they want to turn into a habit. It's not just enough to sort of entertain you for a while you're playing the game. They want you to establish a pattern of checking in with the game regularly. And it was one of those things that, about designing mobile games that felt kind of insidious at the time, was the fact that, they would deliberately introduce delays just to get the player to put the phone down and then pick it back up. Because there was this idea that if you get the player into the habit of checking in on your game regularly, that a game that they play with that kind of pattern will be they'll be more likely to spend money on it than a game that they sort of play in with a normal cadence of just sitting down when for hours, whenever making time in your schedule, sitting down and playing games for hours. That's what people sometimes do with like big console games. Mobile games deliberately try to not have that pattern, but rather than that, have sort of a regular pattern of small check-ins. Now, I don't know if this game's actually doing it. In fact, I'm about to realize that I'm supposed to hit this icon down here. So they were not making me wait. I just didn't know what icon to hit. All right, so a steward reports. Our band of brothers now marches north into the frozen forest. A raven will bring word from them before long. Then it's left to us to hold Castle Black. All right, so are we just going to kind of chill here until something happens? A decision nears. Here we go. A steward reports. With half our number gone, our builders, rangers, and stewards are short-handed. Gilbert Test suggests focusing our ranks. So we need to either maintain our might, we need rangers, strong, and stewards to arm them. Survival comes first, stewards gather supplies, builders reinforce the gates. Defense is key, builders fortify the castle, and rangers to patrol. Interesting. Okay, so I need to decide what 2 groups of rangers I'm holding on to. So I could do mostly stewards and builders, and okay, so I definitely want to pick one of the ones that has rangers, because it feels like fighting is going to be important. So the question is, rangers and stewards or rangers and builders? So Castle Black is historically kind of a flimsy castle, but I tend to be more of a glass. I tend to sort of lean into glass cannon type decisions, where it's like, I'll lean more on offense and defense. So let's keep to that character and do that. The castle stirs with restless brothers. All right. So the tank points out that one of the reasons why George R.R. Martin might have chosen ravens instead of pigeons is just because sending a pigeon somewhere sounds adorable, whereas sending a raven sounds vaguely threatening. And so there's something to that, I think. A brother tells. We face one more problem. The winch cage refuses to lower to the ground. We have no way to reach the top of the wall. Okay, well, let's send 2 watches to climb up or rely on their horn blast to see the north. Alright. It's interesting that I don't really have a good indication of when the next decision is going to arrive. The pair of brothers disagree about the horn's signals. 1 blast for allies, 2 for enemies. We have no need for a third. Okay, that's the only choice I've got, I guess. What did I say? 1 blast? Yeah, 1 blast for rangers, 2 blasts for... So I think eventually it was 1 for allies, 2 for enemies, 3 for White Walkers. But right now, I think this is deep enough in the history that the White Walkers are still an ever-present threat. They are the enemies. So, fearful whispers pass among our men. Lyman Galare says that this stronghold has stood for only a year, yet already its walls have horrors to tell. Ours is a young brotherhood, these are merely growing pains. The Night's Watch fights the enemy of all life, winter will be all we know. Oh, that is dark, and I love it. So yeah, this is reminding me a lot of Reigns. It doesn't have sort of the sort of swipe left, swipe right conceit of Reigns, but it's the same kind of decision making. One of our brothers has discovered something else. The tunnels beneath the castle join our halls together, but they have been sealed shut with ice. Yeah, I guess, I do tend to err on the side of caution, so let's tell them to be cautious about it. I wonder what difference these decisions are making. Some of them feel like they're kind of immaterial. And it's not, one thing it's not doing is it's not doing that telltale thing where it says, so-and-so will remember that. It's not giving me even sort of a phony sense of reinforcement that my decisions are mattering. Sometimes it really feels like maybe my decisions don't matter, and I can't really tell. It's new enough of a game for me, though, that I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt because I really don't know what's going on. Progress is swift. Henry's slint carves through the ice with ease, but inch by inch the ice changes from white to pink. Keep digging. It doesn't seem like he was carving through it fast enough. It really doesn't seem like my order of caution made a difference. Oh, Jedi Sectrix points out that they've been playing Game of Thrones Reigns. I forgot there actually was a Game of Thrones Reigns game. I even... did I actually buy it and then forget to play it? That is entirely likely. I just grabbed Reigns Beyond, by the way, which is another game I've been interested in trying out. Which is Reigns in space. It's like Star Trek Reigns, I believe. So they're taking that format in some interesting new places. With every layer we peel away, the pink ice deepens in color. Algae can color snow, nothing more. Let's say we're near the heart of it. Because, it's getting red. There's a plague heart down there. That's what's going on. Oh, Jedi Sectrix says that Game of Thrones Reigns is on Game Pass. Interesting, I didn't realize that. The deeper we dig, the more our hands stain red. We pick pale yellow fragments lodged into the ice, softened by rot. We aren't sure what they are. Werewood bark or bone? Something stirs beneath Castle Black. I don't know, I've been assuming the pink was blood, so now that they're actually finding yellow, I'm assuming that we're at urine now, and eventually we'll get to bile, and... I don't know. We've cleared the wormwalks of ice through to a hollowing in its heart. Lord Commander, there is something you must see. Show me. I can hear my footsteps heading down there. That's interesting. Jedi Citrix is betting that it's bone. We'll find out. An opening had been left in the ice to let the tunnels breathe. There in the dark we found someone, a cloaked figure, short in stature, with arms of painted skin. They asked for you. Yeah, I'll go alone. I'm brave. Armin Selmaris. So I wonder, did Martin come up with the entire list of all the Lord Commanders, and this is just a character that already exists in the world, or did they have to sort of come up with these characters as they were developing the game? As someone who's worked on licensed stuff a lot before, I always really appreciated when I got to make stuff up, rather than just having to stick slavishly to the story that was handed to me. Son of the First Men, you are late, and you smell of questions. Who are you? So interesting. They don't have a system of branching dialogue where you can say a series of lines at once. They basically have to divide it up into these discrete events. That is really similar to the limitations we put on ourselves for State of Decay 2. You can only have one exchange per dialogue because we basically didn't want to turn the game into, a visual novel. We didn't want to turn it into an adventure game. We wanted to make sure that the game was mostly about your actions and the action and your strategic decisions. So we consciously limited ourselves so we didn't have branching dialogue. Instead, you just, somebody says something to you, you say something to them, and then they can respond back to you one time, and that's it. That's as long as the conversation can be, which felt clever to us at first, but then we got into some of like the bigger missions and stuff like that, and there are some places that would definitely have been improved by branching dialogue. And so it's interesting when you decide to limit yourself on purpose to keep something simple and elegant. You have to really make sure that your long-term plans are not going to suddenly make you regret that decision later on. So it's interesting to see them sort of struggling with the exact same decisions that we did. The magics of the wall need time to quicken, time it does not have. I am one who hastens its weave. Enough riddles, speak plainly. After a delay of 5 seconds. Listen now, the enemy of all life may be defeated, but his army yet marches. If the dead should cross the wall now, the spells will be undone, and the long night will flood land and sky once more. You must keep them away. You must. Am I to trust a faceless stranger? Oh, that was quick. Now you will have to. So be it. You know what this game reminds me of a little bit? Fallout Shelter. Not exactly, but the whole idea of sending people out on missions, that they take a while to come back, is making me think about that. Brothers in the long haul. The numbers are too few on our own, yet our other castles need their men, and we have no allies yet to the south. We must stall what comes in any way we can. We will do what we must. So I wonder, am I going to get into, like, an actual conflict? So, set fire to the woods? Okay, because I don't want to just be playing this all night, and it seems like it is sort of it's got a slow burn. It's taking its time to sort of build up towards the climax. I'm wondering if something climactic is going to happen soon enough for it to feel like it's to give us a nice way to end the stream. Or at some point, am I going to just peter out and be like, okay, this video's been long enough. we're going to quit. But let's see what this is going to be. So okay, I've got potentially 2 different expeditions. So I can set fire to the woods, entrench the snows, or assemble warriors from the wilds. Interesting. So, okay, I definitely think some wildlings would be good. They'll probably respect Hendry the most. So let's send Hendry. And then let's also entrench the snows or set fire to the woods. I'm nervous about setting fire to the woods. It seems like they can backfire. Let's entrench the snows. And I don't want to send... If Galar is impulsive, I don't want to send them out there to potentially get us in trouble. So let's send Gilbert. Okay, so we got 2 expeditions out, and for some reason, I'm looking further south than I was before. Instead of the wall being in the middle of the screen, it's... Part of me just kind of expects that I should be able to see further north. If I'm sending them north, I want to see further north. But I can't. Oh, a brother tells. Let's see. With most of our numbers sent away, we are left to wait while our brothers risk their lives. There must be more we can do. Yeah, prepare what weaponry you can. That sounds good. And I wonder if that option's available because I decided to keep stewards and rangers specifically. Huh. Come back later, the North will wait. Okay, so we're not going to get a climax this session. We're just going to sort of see it. But, this has been really interesting seeing how this game works. So I'm going to hold on to this game. I'm going to keep, sort of checking in with it periodically and see what happens. Yeah, this has been fascinating. It's always interesting when somebody is, I like it when game developers really lean into the strengths of their platform, right? Because there's a lot of games that could just work anywhere, and you just make, you make the game that that you want to make, and then just put it on as many platforms as you can. It feels like this one was specifically designed to be really appropriate for mobile. Like they thought, okay, this is going to be a mobile game. Let's make the kind of game that you want on a mobile platform, which is one that, playing it is very simple and straightforward. You can play it in a very short session. There's nothing really elaborate for it to load. There's not a lot of waiting. You just pick it up, make some decisions, have some fun. Oh, wait. Oh, and now I'm at the front of the line at the DMV. I can quit now. And it doesn't matter if you quit. That's the kind of thing that's ideal for the platform. And so it's fun seeing them lean into that. Anyway, let's wrap this up and go play something else.